more trouble, it would come back on Jason, and he would be the one to answer for it. So I don't think what's going on here is necessarily a bad thing. I think that Jason was just in a tight spot. He's trying to figure out what to do, and they're in a tight spot, and so they're trying to figure out this best case scenario, right? They can either upset all the people that are now following Jesus by taking care of Paul and Silas, or they can take care of Paul and Silas and not do anything about it and offend all of the Jewish people, all these wicked men who are creating this uproar. And so best case scenario for them is to find somebody else, somebody that they can punish and that will take responsibility for what's going on in the city. And so that's what they do. They do this with Jason. So Jason, if this uproar keeps happening, it's going to come back on you. Jason says, okay, I won't do it. Like, we're going to be careful about this. So those who are offended, they are usually offended because they're losing some kind of control or power. They're offended because they enjoy their wickedness. They're offended because or when they're offended, they take out their anger or rage on others. And the offended, they also usually try to make a bigger deal of things and involve others that can help their cause, right? They want to make the biggest deal possible, make it seem like it's the largest group that is in this boat of the offended. And so they level these accusations in verse 7. And Jason has welcomed them. Say, look, they're stirring up the city, and Jason is a part of all of this. And they all act contrary to the decrees of Caesar, saying that there is another king, Jesus. 2 accusations. 1, they've upset the world. Number 2, that contrary to the decree of Caesar, saying that there's another king, Jesus. What you see in this is that these men, they got the message. They got the message. They understood what Paul was trying to communicate, that there is another king, Jesus. And that was offensive. And so they're looking for someone else to take their side. Not that they were all lovey-dovey with Rome, right? But they were just looking for someone else that might enforce a punishment here. Not only do the offended do these things, but we see in verse 13 the extent at which offended people will go. In verse 13, it says, "But when the Jews of Thessalonica found out that the word of God had been proclaimed by Paul in Berea also, they came there as well, agitating and stirring up the crowds." So these same men, these wicked people, they make their way to Berea and are traveling this great distance to